So earlier this week, I talked about the fact that just days before the stock market collapsed because of Donald Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, which of course are now suspended, some of them. But anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene sold off a bunch of her stocks before the market crashed and decided, I'm going to put it in U.S. Treasury bonds, right? I'm not taking any risks. I'm going to put it in the safe investment. It's a lower yield, but I know the market's about to crash and I'm not going to be a part of that. And again, as I mentioned at the time, this is like kind of insider trading because she did have the knowledge, obviously, that Trump's not backing down off the tariffs, but it doesn't rise to the level of illegality. Having said that, her investment has not paid off because it turns out the US bond market also crashed this week. So those very safe investments that Marjorie Taylor Greene thought that she was making, like, oh boy, I'm not going to lose money. And she ended up doing worse. Honestly, she probably would have been better off leaving her money in the stock market, which of course did rebound when Donald Trump immediately announced the pauses. It's not a permanent rebound, however, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. But what I do know is that Marjorie Taylor Greene swung and missed, right? She said, I am not going to take the risk. I'm going for the smart investment. And the smart investment turned out to not be such a good thing. But it's not just not a good thing for Marjorie Taylor Greene. The U.S. bond market collapsing, which many believe is what actually caused Donald Trump to suspend the tariffs, that's horrible for the United States. The bond market is our debt, okay? What happens typically is that, you have small-time investors like Marjorie Taylor Greene that'll buy treasury bonds, but typically the real money comes from foreign governments. Foreign governments like China will buy U.S. Treasury bills. They are essentially purchasing our debt and giving us the money so that we can spend eventually to repay them. That's how that system works. And with that market crashing, what it means is that these foreign investors are selling off the U.S. debt. But more importantly, they're not just selling it off at a lower price, which is going to cost us more. What they're doing is also not buying more. There was a U.S. bond auction this week on Wednesday that actually drew the least amount of interest, the fewest number of people willing to buy in decades. Nobody wants to buy our debt anymore. So you may take solace in the fact that, the market kind of rebounded for now because Trump says it's only a 90-day pause. 90 days from now, it could crash again, could crash multiple times in between them. Nobody freaking knows what's going to happen because this guy is insane. But the bond market is the one that we have to be exceptionally worried about. Because if we have these T-bills that nobody wants to buy except for Marjorie Taylor Greene, the value of the dollar internationally is going to plummet. It's going to become worthless. So that is a big problem for the United States. And a temporary pause on the tariffs is not going to solve that problem, right? Investors on Wall Street were like, woohoo, let's buy stuff. Yay, great. Foreign governments did not respond that way with our T-bills because they know you're still dealing with a madman and they're not willing to buy our debt because Donald Trump has made the U.S. economy so volatile that they no longer trust it. And that is going to hurt each and every one of us, whether you're an investor or not. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.